Hey, my friend. Welcome to our Sidereal Astrology Forecast for the week of June 17th through June 23rd. Danny C. Muniz here, Sidereal Astrologer, spiritual counselor, helping you find peace, move forward in the chaos. My friend, this is our weekly Sidereal Astrology Forecast where we get to dive into what is happening in our sky, how those transits might affect us, what you might be feeling, and why you might be feeling that. Because, my friend, we have some interesting stuff happening. We've got our full moon in Sidereal Sagittarius this week. This is our first official full week in Gemini. We are in Gemini season. So we're going to talk all about that and more in this Sidereal Astrology Forecast. All right. Welcome. If you are new here, this is Keeping It Real with Sidereal, the YouTube channel and the Cosmic Mystic podcast. We have it on both platforms. So if you are somebody who wants to see the charts, the visuals, me, my funny faces, then come on over to Keeping It Real with Sidereal on YouTube. And if you are on the Cosmic Mystic podcast, whether on your favorite platform like Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, or some other channel, welcome. There we have the same exact forecast. It's just the audio version. So you just won't be able to see the charts. But if you are curious, you can come on over to the YouTube channel. So welcome to those of you that are new here. Welcome back to another week, another forecast. We've got some cool things going on over here in this world, astrologically, and in my world as well. I'll tell you a little bit about some of those things that are going on. But this week we have some beautiful shifts that I can't wait to share with you. So let's go ahead and dive on in, my friend. We're going to begin this with checking out where our sun is. We always like to know where the sun is because that is our foundation, right? That is the center of the solar system, right? It's the center of everything. Our sun is our consciousness, right? So it is our conscious thinking. So wherever the sun is transiting, wherever it's moving through, that's where we'll find a lot of our conscious energy around. And so as we stated last week, our sun was moving out of Taurus and into Gemini. So you can see here, we are officially in the zodiac sign of Gemini, and we're right here at 2 degrees starting this week. We're going to go through this part of the chart here over the next 4 weeks. So we'll be able to see the sun move through here. Now, we can see right off the bat that we have a couple of things that is influencing our sun. In particular, we've had, right, and I talked about this in our last forecast, so you can always go and watch previous forecast if you want to hear a little bit more about some of the things that we've talked about. If this is your first time watching one of these forecasts, you can go back and check. They're all on one playlist, so you can go back and see previous episodes. So we have here the planet Mercury and Venus are conjunct. They are actually conjunct right now at 6 degrees, and they are also conjunct, which would be conjunct Sun, and they are about 4 degrees apart. So they were really, really close together. And then they've kind of have spread apart a bit over the past few weeks. And so we've been watching this for a while, right? We've seen that conjunction with Venus and the sun since around the middle of May. We've seen Mercury for a bit now. Just a little, about a week or so, almost a week with that conjunction there. But we've seen that conjunction with the sun for a bit. So they're influencing them. So as in influencing the sun. So I like to say it's right now, if we look at it, it was Mercury and Venus were coming to hang out with the sun, then they were hanging out with the sun, and now they're leaving. It's like their last day, right? Or so there before they move on. And so they've been influencing. If you think about this, I try to make this as simple and in terms that are super simple to understand, because astrology can be overwhelming. It can be a lot. And so I want to try to make this as easy as possible. And the easiest way that I can say this is, right now we are in we're about to enter the summer season. As a matter of fact, this week we will shift right into from spring into summer. We have summer solstice, which is all it is. Make it really simple for you, my friend. Really simple. It is not anything crazy, anything major, although it is very impactful and it can be a really beautiful, beautiful, magical time. Summer solstice is the longest, longest day, longest light in our visible sky from here on earth. It's the longest day, the longest light. That's all it is. So that is when you hear somebody talking about that, that's what they're referring to, that period of light. Now, from a spiritual standpoint, right, there's a whole bunch that we can work with that. But we are changing seasons. So now that we have our longest day, the days will start to get shorter and shorter and shorter, just as we had our spring equinox and the days started getting longer and longer and longer and longer. Now our days going to go back and they're going to get shorter and shorter and shorter until our winter solstice. Well, then we're going to have the longest night. Okay. So just a little tidbit for you if you're like, I kind of understand what that means. I can talk more about that maybe in an upcoming podcast episode. So stay tuned for that. So let's get back to our chart here. And you can see that we've got that connection here. We also have the connection over to Chiron, which I talked a little bit about last week. But we've got a new guy that came in towards the end of the week, which was the square over here to Neptune. This square right here, this red line connecting these guys over here to Neptune. So when we're talking about the square over here to Neptune, you might find it's a little bit harder to get motivated. You might find some confusion or even some insecurity, maybe even over idealizing some things. This is definitely something that can happen when we are involving the Neptune energy with the sun. It just kind of weakens our energy, our light, our vibrancy. And so just know that there may be a little bit of that kind of happening, especially depending on how this particular transit is affecting your chart in particular. And we're going to see this all the way through till the end of the month, June 25th. So it's going to be in here for a couple of weeks. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. So we might be feeling some of that. Now, we do have our full moon this week, which will take place 21st. So I'll talk about that in a second. But because the energy in the lunar cycle is rising, right? We're feeling our energy rise. It might not be as full, maybe as it might have in the past because of that square. Now, we also have that connection over here to Chiron, which I didn't talk about, which is the sextile. Although we did have that, as I said, come into play. And we only have a couple more days of it. So till the 19th. So till, what is that, Wednesday? But it's influencing, right, that energy may have had over this weekend, some of those old wounds kind of coming up, wanting to work through some of those old traumas, those losses, those insecurities, things like that. So there might be some new light that is coming to you around some of those wounds as well. So let's dive in now to our moon and talk about where our moon's going to be, where it's going to be moving, because our moon is actually our emotional energy. So we just talked about the sun, which is our conscious energy, but now we're going to talk about our emotional energy. And I don't know about you, but emotions tend to drive a lot of the things that I do, right? Not only as a woman, not only as a Cancer, but emotions drive us, right? Our thoughts create a feeling, that feeling creates an action. So we want to know where the thoughts are, but we also want to know what's the emotion. So when we tune into the moon this week, we kick off with our moon in Libra. We can see it here. It is in Libra. And our moon in Libra with the Gemini sun, you may be feeling this, my friend, because I have been feeling this myself, is that it's a starter. Like I start things, or you might be doing this too. Like you start something and then you like get distracted and start doing something else. And then you go do something else. It's like these little things that just keep like, oh yeah, I was doing this. Oh wait, yeah, I was doing this, and it comes back. I'll give you a prime example. This morning, I wanted to put some pinto beans on to make so I can have for the week, and then I wanted to make some chocolate milk so that I can have in my coffee, my iced coffee. And I put the chocolate milk on, right, to heat up, to like melt the chocolate. I was using abuelita, so I was melting the chocolate. And then I had the beans going. And then I was like, I need to feed Jake the pug. So then I went to go feed handsome Jake. And then I was like, oh, the trash. I need to take out the trash. And then I went to go take out the trash and I didn't put Jake's food away. And then I was like, oh, I needed to finish washing those dishes. So then I went back to washing the dishes, and all of a sudden I hear the milk start to bubble over. And I was like, oh, that's right. I had the milk on. Then I had to go fix that. It's like that energy of like this and this and this and this and this and this. And it's, we might not be able to focus or complete tasks because we're just like things after things after things. So during this particular next few days, which the moon will be moving through this Libra energy, Monday, Tuesday, all the way down to like early morning, like Wednesday, like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. So we'll really feel this Monday and Tuesday. And this is the time where you're going to want to do quick tasks, nothing that is like long and laborious. It's like, let me just do it real quick. Like, let me just get this done. It has to be quick and it has to be easy. It's nothing difficult during this time. If you are looking to do, like you're wanting some ideas, this is a great time to brainstorm, great time to research. Quick errands. Like I love to take days like this and just go do quick errands. So our next like moon days that are air, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go and run some errands, and I'm only going to focus on the quick, easy, simple tasks. Now, Libra, is more of a harmonizing, balancing type energy. So you all also might be like teeter tottering on making a decision where you're, oh, but what about this and what about that? And because you can see both sides. And so you might have some of that energy coming in as well. Now, as the moon moves out of Libra and into Scorpio on Wednesday, we're going to see the moon in Scorpio from Wednesday through Thursday. Now, Scorpio is a water sign. So anytime our moon is in a water sign, number one, I'm going to recommend that you take some time for you, that you get some self-care in, that you really fill your cup, you make space. So one of the things that I love to do to create space is to do some somatic breath work, right? Just releasing things that aren't serving me anymore. Maybe you like to journal. Maybe you're a meditator. Maybe you like to just go for a walk and just kind of release things out. Now, we are in Gemini, and so it is a very communicative type energy. So you may need to verbally process things out. You may need to actually just like grab your phone and start recording, like use your voice note to start recording. Or maybe you have a friend that you can Voxer or some type of voice message where you can just get things out. It's very much a communicative type energy with Gemini. So you want to get it out. Some other things around this energy is it's actually the death and rebirth. It's the death and rebirth type energy. So if you are finding yourself needing some type of transformation or wanting to dive deeper into maybe a subconscious belief or idea, or really dig into the mysteries, this is also a really good time to do that. So my healing work, best time to do healing work, especially with this Gemini curious energy and this Scorpio deep dive energy. It's like, oh, it's all the good things. So really good time to do some deep healing work on Wednesday and Thursday. Now, moving into Friday, you'll see right here, we move into Sagittarius and our moon will be in opposition to the sun. So what this means is this is our full moon. So we have our full moon here on Friday, June 21st in the zodiac sign of Sagittarius. Now, first, we just talk about Sagittarius energy and then we'll talk about the full moon. So Sagittarius is our fire energy. This is that action oriented type energy. It's like getting things going, moving things forward. It's ruled by the planet Jupiter. So it's very much about growth and expansion, fully expanding out and really exploring. It's like the deep explorer. Okay. It's like we're diving into some things in Scorpio and then we just go out and start exploring it, right? So we might, like an easy example here, like we start learning about a different culture, right? And then we go out and go visit it, right? We go out and go explore it. That's what this energy is, Sagittarius. Now, let's talk a little bit about this actual full moon, because the full moon takes place at around 8 o'clock. Let me pull it up on here. 8 o'clock in the evening Central Time. So we'll see it right here, 6 degrees. And we have a couple of things that are coming into play here. We've got this square over here to Neptune, and we've got this opposition to Venus. So the sun is still conjunct Venus. We've got about a little less than 24 hours here with the sun in Venus, but it is still making this opposition. So this is impacting, right? Impacting our full moon. So I have called this, I have labeled this. And so for those of you that have subscribed to the guidebooks, the guidebook went out this weekend about Gemini season. It's all about Gemini zodiac, the transits that are happening this month, as well as a ritual that you do to help you focus. We've also got journal prompts and affirmations every single week for you to dive deeper into your own personal growth and development. And in there, I labeled this particular full moon as exploring curiosity. I absolutely love this idea of exploring curiosity. Now, Gemini, I always set the intention to be curious about things, curious about why I do something, curious about the habits that I have, curious about my belief systems, curious about new ideas and new things. It's a very curious energy and wanting to learn new things, right? So I love this like Gemini energy of curiosity. And when we look at the Sagittarius energy of exploring, of being an explorer, an adventurer, right? And that just feels really good in how we're navigating these times, let's just say. So full moons are always about celebrating and releasing. So our new moon is about setting the pathway, right? Setting the journey, what it is that we intend, what it is that we're calling in this certain cycle. The full moon is the opportunity to celebrate the progress that we've made and to also release what no longer serves us, that may hinder us from achieving the thing that it is that we intend, the thing that it is that we desire. And so this week we have this opportunity to check in with self and say, okay, self, all right, what was my intention? What progress have I made? Even if it is just a tiny little step that you've taken towards that, like that little tiny progress that you've made, what progress have you made? Acknowledging that, celebrating that, and also looking at, okay, this is what I've done. What do I need to let go to make an even further advancement in what it is that I'm desiring? What else do I need to remove? What barriers, what blocks, what restrictions do I need to get out of the way so that I can do this, right? And as I said, we have that beautiful Scorpio energy to do some inner work, to bring that forward for ourselves. So on the full moon, we can release it. We can let it go. Now, there's tons of full moon um, ceremonies and information that you can get out there around full moons. But the most simplest thing that you can do as a full moon release is to write down whatever it is that you want to release on a piece of paper or strips of paper and throw it into some fire. Whether you have a bonfire, whether you have a safe container that you can burn it in. Oh, my friend, it can be as simple as just writing it down and ripping it up, shredding it, using some scissors, whatever feels good to you, crumbling it up, like whatever it is, my friend, like whatever works for you to let go and to release. The easiest of the easies is to sit in a meditation and just sense, feel, or imagine those things within you and how they're connected to your energy. And then just imagine yourself like with a machete or some type of instrument to just cut them all away from you and just send them up to the heavens or down to Mother Earth, releasing it out of you. It can be that simple. Now, can it also be elaborate? Absolutely. It can be a beautiful ceremony of you setting up sacred space and calling in, what you want to call into the space. And it, there can be card pulls, and there could be journaling, and there could be breath work, and there could be meditation. There can be a whole bunch of stuff. And maybe one day when I do a full moon ceremony, I'll tell you all the things that I do in it. But that's if I publicly start putting them out there, I'll let you know. But it can be as super simple as just visualizing it and releasing, my friend. You don't have to overcomplicate these things, trust me, because I know we can. All right, let's move on from this full moon and move into the weekend. So on right here, we have our moon moving into, let me get over to Sunday here. So about 1 o'clock in the afternoon or so, the moon is going to move out of Sagittarius and into Capricorn. So we will end this week with the energy of Capricorn, which is an earth sign. So we're going to go through all of the 4 elements this week, which I love when we get to do that because it's just a little bit of a roller coaster. We get to do all the things this week, starting with our air all the way to our earth. Now, I can tell you this. So, Capricorn is very much goal oriented, organizing, planning. So, let me tell you a really fun thing that you can do this week as it relates to that moon energy, especially with this full moon. Air energy is all about ideas, right? So, you can get your idea, and then we move from air to water. Now we connect the thought with air to the emotion with water. We get emotionally connected to this idea, and then we move it into our fire element, which is our action element. So now we take some inspired action And earth is where we manifest the thing. So we can start this week using the four elements and using the moon's journey this week to give us this really beautiful opportunity to bring something into manifestation. Now, I love working with the four elements. I love working with this idea of conscious manifesting. And as a matter of fact, my 60-day journey, my container, the sacred container for conscious manifestation kicks off this week. We actually had our kickoff call today on Monday, June 17th, but you can still join. So if you'd like to learn more about that, you can go to thepeaceteacher.com/cosmic alignment. But my friend, I created this particular program for accountability, to align, to reflect, to release, and to align with what it is that I desire and to help myself stay accountable. I literally created this program for myself and then invited people to join me. This is my third time running it, and I absolutely love running this. We've upgraded it this time around. So there's new things. We're going to be talking about the 12 universal laws. We're going to talk about the four key elements to manifestation, and we're going to be working through those over the next 9 weeks. Plus, we've got 3 days a week, we have daily support calls. So these 3 support calls a week where we sit down, we get aligned for the day with a daily somatic breath work, and then filling out a daily intention sheet, as well as an evening reflection. And then we have 3 somatic breathwork sessions that we'll be doing as a community, as a group together. And plus, you've got me over the next 60 days to guide you on any particular transits or anything that is coming up for you over the next 60 days. It's my favorite thing to do. I absolutely love the program and the changes that we've made since the past round in February. So if you're interested, if you're like, that sounds kind of cool, tell me more, definitely go to thepeaceteacher.com/cosmic alignment. There's also a link down in the description box and in the show notes. Okay, so let's get back to what is going on in our sky this week. So let's look at Mercury, because Mercury is making some shifts this week. So Mercury over here, we talked about Mercury earlier with its conjunction to Venus. But I want to go back to the beginning of the week here, and then we'll pull it forward. All right, there we go. We can see that sun conjunction there. So Mercury moved, I should say, into Gemini on the 14th. So we saw that move over here at the end of last week. And I talked about that and how we're going to have this really amplified energy of that conscious thinking, ideas, really social energy, really seeking to learn, really wanting to learn. So this is a really good time. If you're interested in new ideas and new concepts, this is the perfect time to do it, right? It's one of the reasons why I do cosmic alignment during air season, is because there's this like really curious wanting to learn new things energy. And it also is really hard to focus during these air seasons. And so that accountability and that like structure is really, really helpful during these times, especially during the summer months. But we've got Mercury there. We've also got coming up at the end of this week. Actually, let's talk about Mercury and Mars, and then we'll talk about the Saturn. So we've got this connection here with Mars. So let me show you. Right here on the 17th, we kick off the week right here with this sextile over here to Mars. So what does that mean? When Mercury, our thoughts and our thinking with the planet of action, of moving things forward, we've got this ambition like no other. It's a tendency to just go and do things, want to take action on something. This is it's a really powerful energy, especially from a mental place. So manifestation is really good during this period. Really, really good during this period. this is more of like an independent type work energy. It's really, although I will say with the beginning of this week being in Libra, we could probably do some collabs here, right? And we might be thinking about collaboration. As a matter of fact, I pulled a card for the Enlightened Soul Circles over on Facebook. That's a community I co-run with Sandra V. Montour. I pulled this card, which is all about collaboration, which I thought, wow, that's really interesting as we started this week in Libra, all about collaboration. But this idea of collaboration here at the beginning, but then towards the end of the week, I'm going to tell you, my friend, it's more of independent work. It's like, let me work by myself. Let me just get this done. It's a little bit more of a competitive type energy. So you might see some conversations that are wanting to be more competitive in nature over the next few weeks, or like this kind of like power, power trips, let's just say, kind of coming through as well. But I will say this is also, if you're wanting to make a change in your life, this is also really good for that too. Now, let's talk about the second one, which is coming in here at the end of the week. And so we'll talk about this more next week. But this right here, the 23rd, we have Saturn. We have this trine over here to Saturn. So Saturn is our planet of, as I said earlier, it rules Capricorn. So it's that planning, that organizing, that foundation, that structure. And so we get more into a serious frame of mind here, really wanting to get things done, to study, to really make more important type decisions from a practical place and with a permanent type result. We're not here for the quick thing. It's very permanent, very practical, very grounded energy coming in next week. So there we've got this like really kind of fun, vibrant energy happening this week, and then we're going to bring that kind of to a really grounded, practical sense towards the end of the week. Now, Mars is making this sextile over to Venus that I want to show you, because this is the other major transit that I wanted to show you. This right here, we've got this coming in this week as well. You can see that it is sextile both Venus and Mercury here. We see that kick in right here on the 17th. And then we also got this square over to Pluto. So let me tell you a little bit about, we've had the square over to Pluto, which is going to fall off on the 18th. So we've had that really competitive, really like wanting to dominate each other, some fighting type energy over the past few weeks. That's going to be coming to an end. So hallelujah for that one. And then we're going to see this Venus energy come in all the way through till July 10th. So this is a little bit more romantic, a little bit more flirty type energy with a Mars, is really good confidence, really feeling more attractive and wanting to pursue things a little bit more aggressively, especially in the dating scene. So if you are dating, there is this like kind of wanting to be more playful and a little bit more aggressive in nature. So it's like asking for the date, asking to take the next step kind of idea. So you might feel some of that coming in. This is also a good time. Like if you are dating, let's just say, we can go a little bit below the surface here on this. This is more, it's not based on like superficialness because of this Mars and Venus energy, because you can see here that our Mars is in Aries and our Venus is in Gemini, which Aries is more assertive, right? And Gemini is more flirty, it's more social, it's more curious. And so there is this lightness with this energy, which I think is really fun. Now, taking it out of the dating scene and taking it into like money or manifesting or working towards your goals, really good time to have more fun with it than it being like hard and structured. It's just like, let's just have fun with this. Let's just be playful with this. So I'm going to if there's anything that you're like, this is feeling really hard or heavy, I'm going to invite you to add some fun into it. I'm going to invite you to have some playfulness with it. How can you bring that in to those things? All right. Let me see. Is there anything else? Nope. That's it. That's what I wanted to tell you about this week, my friend. This has been your Sidereal Astrology Forecast for the week of June 17th through the 23rd. We have our full moon happening on Friday, the 21st. If you are wanting some extra support and groundedness over the next couple of months, then come join us in Cosmic Alignment. I would love to have you join our 60-day container. You get to hang out. We get to hang out for 60 days. Actually, it's a little bit more than 60 days, but we get to hang out and do some fun stuff together. So I'd love, love, love to have you. All right, my friend, have a beautiful rest of your day. Have a beautiful week and keep shining your unique light.